Taiwan. I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Separated by vast expanses of ocean, many Austronesian cultures trace their ancestral roots to Taiwan. Our reporter Reese Ayers went southeast to meet the Canoe Club, reconnecting those communities through common seafaring traditions.
Blessing boats with the songs of their ancestors. A ritual seen in cultures across the Pacific, taking place on Taiwan's southeast coast, where it all started. At this boat race in Taitung, paddlers from around Taiwan and beyond gather to put their seafaring skills to the test, but more importantly, to revel in the shared history of Austronesian cultures.
In every country, there is a different cultural attachment to it. So for example, in New Zealand, it is really tied to the Maori culture. And if you're in Australia, there's an indigenous culture. And in Taiwan, it's also very tied to the Aboriginal tribes in Taiwan.
Taiwan is home to over a dozen indigenous groups, many of whom have lived between the mountains and sea on the country's rugged east coast for thousands of years. Research points to these groups as being the ancestors of peoples across the Pacific.
Austronesian cultures around the world, from Hawaii to Madagascar, New Zealand to Taiwan, all share some characteristics and technologies, including deep roots in seafaring traditions.
And it's that shared history of seafaring that Yvonne Jian, founder of the Taiwan Outrigger Canoe Club, hopes to preserve at events like this race.
The culture of this island matters to me, and I want to honor that First Nation, First people of this island. And unfortunately, when I was younger, I didn't give me the opportunity to learn and get to know more of our culture, especially the indigenous people culture.
Yvonne first learned of the connections between Taiwan and other Austronesian cultures while paddling in Hawaii.
Every time I introduce myself as a Taiwanese, most of international paddlers, especially from Hawaii, from Tahiti, from Maori, Aotearoa, they all said, "Oh, our ancestors from Taiwan."
Despite not being indigenous herself, Yvonne was inspired to start the Canoe Club after returning to Taiwan during the COVID-19 pandemic. Through her involvement, she learned about communities' fading relationship with the water. Uniting boat builders, paddlers and ocean enthusiasts, Yvonne's mission is also about teaching water safety and educating people on the history of voyaging.
It's the first deep-sea voyaging canoe. We believe that the successions of the outrigger canoe started from the bamboo raft, which is what we see here alongside the east coast of Taiwan.
And she's received support from the local government, equally eager to protect local traditions.
那其实在文学啊、美术啊、视觉艺术、表演艺术，我们其实都有很多的计划在做了。even 那个纹身啊，就是那个 tattoo 的纹身也都有。
Professional and amateur paddlers from several of Taiwan's indigenous groups are involved with the Canoe Club. Lising Yijiang from the Amis people says sailing the traditional way is no easy task.
最困难的是肌肉的持续力，因为大洋洲它是比较长距离的航行，所以基本上都是以公里为起跳，所以就是长距离的话，肌耐力要很够。
And Kong Tek Lee from Singapore hopes even those without Austronesian heritage can get involved.
This sport kind of brings everyone together, no matter what race you are, from what background you are, how old you are. Everybody is very welcome to be a part of the canoe.
The Canoe Club has big plans for the future, including retracing maritime routes between Taiwan's main and outlying islands, and even further afield to places like the Philippines, re-establishing links between peoples who set sail for the horizon many millennia ago. Leon Lien and Reese Ayers in Taitung County for TaiwanPlus.
A neighborhood in Kaohsiung in southern Taiwan is seeking to build a name for itself as a tourist destination. John Ventress looks at what local residents are doing to attract visitors.
Kaohsiung Harbor is a center of both commerce and culture in southern Taiwan, but most visitors only end up taking in one or two of the better-known sites here. Now, a few people in the largely overlooked neighborhood of Shaochuantou are making the case that their district should be on the tourist trail too. Their first argument is the area's history. The neighborhood is home to a Victorian building that housed a British consulate in the 19th century. That was after Kaohsiung became a treaty port following the Opium Wars, fought by Britain and its allies against the Chinese Qing Empire.
Oh, 你瞅这间叫怡和洋行啊，这间是较早咧蹲啥你知无？蹲鸦片啊。
Then there's the scenery. In addition to a hill providing harbor views, there are cruises from the neighborhood's docks to the harbor. The recent appearance of a giant rubber duck art installation saw this cruise business take off.
因为很多长辈啊，他们其实没有办法跟着人挤人这样子去走，所以他们的家里的子女选择带他们来坐船游港，让他们坐在海上这样子静静的欣赏。
Neighborhood businesses want these hidden gems to bring in more tourists and bring young people back to this residential area.
地方创生唯有获利，它才能够吸引青年人口移居啊回流。 然后让这个地方变成一个更有特色的一个地区。
History and scenery already bring in visitors to the nearby harbor side, but within just a few steps is a very different kind of Kaohsiung experience. Dolphin Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
There has been a significant drop in Taiwan's pheasant population in the country's east. Wesley Lewis takes a look at where these birds could have gone.
Taiwan's ring-necked pheasants are affectionately known as the pearl of the grassland, but they have now become rare birds. The government listed the birds as critically endangered in 2016, but a survey by conservationists in Zhiben wetlands in the southeast of the country have now found numbers dropping even further. There were 115 pheasants recorded there this year, 80 fewer than last year, and hitting a 5-year low. Some wildlife experts say the decline could be due to wildfires.
相对于以往少了非常多，那推测可能是因为资本湿地有发生过火灾，造成这个栖息地环境有变动。
But fires aren't the only cause of environmental change. Officials say there's also been a reduction in the area's water sources, affecting the food chain of fruits, seeds, and insects essential to the pheasant's survival. That could have led the birds to migrate, to find new sources of food and water elsewhere. But conservationists say changing the wetlands irrigation system could be key to protecting the birds' habitat. They're working with county officials to make changes.
把那个排水道修正为往保安林的地方，而不是本来设计的就是从湿地的核心区穿越，那样子会对湿地的影响很大。
But human activities continue to threaten many natural spaces, with some careless visitors leaving the area strewn with garbage. Conservationists are calling for the government to designate the area an important wild bird habitat to ensure the Zhiben wetlands and its pheasants are able to thrive. Scott Huang and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
A hungry 7-meter whale shark has surprised fishers in waters off Taiwan's southeast coast.
好大的金鲨！我的天哪！
The giant fish reportedly stayed with the boat until the fishers had no bait left to feed it, then swam away. Known in Taiwan as the tofu shark, the government protects this docile, endangered species. Wednesday morning 7.2 magnitude earthquake may have disrupted ocean ecosystems off Taiwan's east coast, some of the deepest waters in the world. Fishers say they often see rare sea animals appear after large quakes. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website and follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Before we go, check out these reindeer owned by indigenous Sami herders. A planned power project in Norway is threatening their pastures. I'm Ethan Liu. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, download the TaiwanPlus app.